Brooklyn, Atlanta, Orlando, Indianapolis, Houston, and now. Yeah. Black Ink Radio.
It's a movie.
Okay, the food, the art, the clothes. We put this show on the road. The Vatican getting exposed. You better stay on your toes. Repo, tilling the land, focus on the ego. Open my heart, let go of the ego. Ran out the grand, I'm stacking up these C-notes. Fast. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Fast. Found out the hacks, put it in any rap. Fast. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Facts. We in your city, pull up what we at.
Facts though, I talk factos. Ask J Babe, I go Astro. Floating focused on my cash flow. We plant star seeds to make the grass grow. I'm a refloater, I do what I wanna. Stacking the winter, sunbathing the summer. My chakras aligning, I shock 'em like Blanco. Only part we acknowledge a nigga is Pablo.
At these events, I'm a god to my people. Got out the streets, yeah, we dodging a Rico. Game of roulette, I'm a casino. The game wasn't fair, yeah, the odds wasn't equal. Squad got the Chico, my squad got the Chico. Game in a drought, yeah, they starving the people. Blaming and doubt, make it harder to eat, yo. Not a placebo, that's not a placebo.
The food, the art, the clothes. We put this show on the road. The Vatican getting exposed. You better stay on your toes. Repo, tilling the land, focus on the ego. Open my heart, let go of the ego. Ran out the grand, I'm stacking up these C-notes. Fast. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Found out the hacks, put it in any rap. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. We in your city, pull up what we at.
Started in Richmond, art of my district. Heart of the mystics, parted for biscuits. Father the isfits, martyr the misfits. God is my witness, God on my hit list. Moving the weight, we started with fitness. Moving with states, we art of the richest. Give me the blues, my heart is in Memphis. It's part of adventure, started my venture. The F is for food, the A is for art. The C is for clothes, I'm playing my part. T is for tech, I'm playing it smart. S is for shelter, I stay in the park. Acres on acres, get lost in the dark. We playing a part, we playing it smart. Facts.
Okay, the food, the art, the clothes. We put this show on the road. The Vatican getting exposed. You better stay on your toes. Repo, tilling the land, focus on the ego. Open my heart, let go of the ego. Ran out the grand, I'm stacking up these C-notes. Facts. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. Found out the hacks, put it in any rap. Fuck it, we gon' put this shit on our back. We in your city, pull up what we at.
It's a movie.
Peace and blessings, beautiful people. It's the girl High Heels. Not for the shoes, but for the healing of energy, the teleportation of higher vibrations. Get with it. You are listening to Oracle Connect live on Black Ink Radio. Hey man, let me tell you. So that was the new song by Sorbet Sauce God featuring Red and Blue Pillar. Facts, y'all. That right there is like the new banger right there.
I like it.
I'm like, hold on, what is this? What is this? Hey.
Period.
Okay.
Right.
Like,
Right.
hold on. Like, okay, so look, I'm trying to do two things at one time. Your sister, I'm trying to do, I need some help. I need like a production assistant to get this live going because I'm doing technicalities while I'm actually on the show.
Right.
But I want to present my guest today. You know, coincidentally, I wanted to talk about consciousness and levels of consciousness and what consciousness is. And we have a sister right here who is doing a whole 3-day weekend event called the Wokefest.
Yes.
This is our sister Sabrina IG. Welcome,
Yes,
Sabrina
thank you.
IG.
Peace and blessings, family. Y'all hear me good? All right. Yes, so thank you. We do have a 3-day weekend retreat called Awoken. I named it Awoken actually last year, so it's our second annual 3-day weekend retreat and our 4th annual Wokefest.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. So we went from woke to awoken. You know,
Okay.
we're a little bit elevated when it comes to now we know more, so it's expected to do more. So that's where awoken came from, because it's a different state of being aware. Just like woke is, it's just more actionable.
So we're gonna talk about. I'm gonna go live on my Instagram real quick, y'all. Bear with me. I'm so rude. I'm so extra. Because I just be doing too much. Ask Rich Mo. He be like,
that's what you gotta do.
Heels be doing the most. Now we here. Okay, we here live and direct. So, I was sitting here thinking about always talking about consciousness on this show. We always talk the conscious community. And it made me stop and think, I'm like, so what does it really mean to be conscious? Like, what is consciousness? Right. Because when I first got here, I did all of my spiritual elevation in LA. I had a tragedy happen in 2012 that brought me to my lowest low. Yeah. And then 2016, I was moved to LA, and then that's where I kind of went through my spiritual gravitation. I did Reiki and everything like that, got into my tantric practices, all that. Came back here, and when I got here, I felt conscious. I felt I was awakened. But then the more that I involved myself in the community, I was starting to see, wait, so what is conscious? Because people say the conscious community, but then they're talking about a whole bunch of stuff that I have no idea about. You know what I mean? Comedic studies and things like that. Right. So I'm like, okay, so what is consciousness? Right. And, I looked up the definition, and I'm like, okay, so it means to be aware. To be aware of one's surroundings, aware of oneself. But when I'm noticing of our definition of consciousness, it seems to be more like education. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I totally do.
So I'm like,
totally do.
Is it, so I'm wondering, is it fair for us? And these are questions, and don't take any of this conversation in a negative way. It's all questions to create a conversation for us to learn. Yes. I'm into the Socratic method.
Always.
So Socratic method is based off of Socrates.
Yeah, I got a tattoo from Socrates on my it's in, actually I put it in the hieroglyphics. Oh, but wow. Yeah, it means think and it will become so. It's basically in so many words. That's what it is. Think, be what you think, know. So I love it.
I love that. We're aligned. We definitely are aligned. That's my favorite way to learn. Yes. When I went to UCLA, I studied pre-law and I did public affairs. Beautiful. And so most of what we did was Socratic method. Nice. That's why when people be like, school is a joke or it's a trick, and I'm like, it depends on where you went.
What you're doing too. Right. Your intention for why you're going.
Exactly. Yeah. Because with us, in my school, we didn't sit there and just get notes regurgitated to us. We really sat and talked, and through Socratic method came up with levels of knowledge. So I like to ask questions to get to a place of understanding. So don't get the questions confused. Right. But back to the consciousness, so it made me wonder, so are we conscious or are we educated? Right. Because when I got here, I equated consciousness to your level of spirituality. Right. But then I noticed that there are a lot of people that are in the conscious community, but they're not spiritual. Right. Meaning as far as, when I talk about myself, for instance, I say I'm street smart, not book smart. You know what I'm saying? With my consciousness, I was brought through the 7 levels of consciousness, where I was put in a place where I had to be in survival mode, and I had to learn how to survive. Then I started to, correlate myself with other people. Then I had to see how I relate with other people. Then once I saw myself in relations with other people, then I started to wonder who the fuck I was. Right. Okay, so who is Golda? That's my real name.
Oh, nice. Didn't know that. Some new things every day. Golda.
Yeah, I catch myself referring to myself in my government a lot of times nowadays, because my name is not High Heels. If you ever know I always say I go by High Heels. Nice. So in heels for short, I let people call me that, but I never say my name is High Heels. Right. I stay true to my name. Right. You know what I'm saying? Your namesake is very important. Yes. But yeah, so
title.
Yeah, it is. It's I always put it Meta World Peace. Do you remember?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. I do. So it's kind of that same thing that the more you keep saying heals, we're speaking healing. We're constantly speaking heals. So when you talk about me, you talk about healing. You know what I'm saying? Nice. But but
high heels. I like it.
High heels, not for the shoes, but for the healing of energy.
I like it.
Yeah, it's a funny story though. Risa was the one who actually was like, "You need to make that a drop."
Yeah, for sure.
Because once I had him sign my book when I first met him, and I was like HEALS, and he was like, "What?" I was like, yeah, it's not for the shoes,
Right.
it's for the healing of energy. And he's like, yeah, that's a drop.
Yeah,
That's a
you
drop.
for sure should do that.
Yeah, that's my tagline.
Good advice.
But
I like it.
but yeah, going back to the point. See,
Yes.
this is why Aquarius. We gonna sit here and have a whole conversation. I love this.
Look, I'm all mentally get stimulated. I love it.
Yeah, but back to the point. So
Yes.
for when I say the street smart, like, yes, I was brought through different stages, and I had to get to a stage where I was trying to find out who I was. Once I
Right.
found out who I was, and I was going through that transformation, and then finally reaching a point of self-actualization, then I started to see how can I affect others.
Right.
So this is about 2017 now,
Right.
where I was homeless, but I was doing readings for people for free.
Beautiful.
So I was still living in my purpose. Like, I started everything when I was homeless, like my website, everything. I first did my first YouTube video. I was homeless, living in a motel room, but it was because of reaching my self-actualization, seeing how I can help others, and then eventually I just caved myself to a life of service.
Yes.
So that is like that last level of consciousness. The 7th level of consciousness is service. So
Yes.
once I reached
Yes.
all that,
I like that.
yeah,
It's
'cause
serving. That's
it's
what
this-
we're here to do. With you have your purpose.
So, I mean, and that, I feel like that was true consciousness.
Yes.
But again, when I got out here, I was like, oh, so I'm not conscious?
Yeah.
Because I don't know Bobby Kimmett?
I
I was like,
Bobby,
what happened?
Bobby, I got
People
you.
was like, you don't know Francis Quest Rosie?
Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. She's one of our saints. Bobby Himmett. He's one of our
Yes.
master teachers. But yeah, it's just depends on what information you resonate with and what you're seeking. Everybody's journey. When people, and that's, we're bringing it full circle because that's why I created Wokefest, for people just like us to celebrate our level of awareness. And it's like Nip said, it's a marathon.
Yes.
Spirituality. I'm a social scientist, and I deal with therapy in dealing with the mind and how to transform and reprogram ourselves through our mental and our subconscious. So when we speak about basically like consciousness and awareness, and what people that point fingers, they're not as aware as what spirit is in totality. Spirit is, if it flows, it's an ebb and flow. It's fluid, it's loose, it's not restrictive. It's tangible and intangible at the same time. It has a duality. So however you come to your journey, we all come the same way. So from my observations, like we go through what people call in this dimension like a hero's journey. We call it in tribe a soul's journey. You go on your hero's journey, and that's your path to spirituality, and spirituality is a marathon. And when you ascend, then you ascend with what you learn from after you transition, whether you done a good job serving and fulfilling your purpose, and being purposeful and being like God, and like my tattoo here, create. This is just a constant reminder that you serve, you create, and you do it for yourself, but for other people. And it's like with gifts, because like 2020, I was thinking about like what's the difference between a gift and a talent. And I was pondering, like, spirit gave it to me. I was like, it was just like a figured out theme of the year or whatever. So I was like, what's the difference? So me and my older brother actually ended up like cracking it and like thinking about it. And was like, yeah, a gift is something you give. You know what I'm saying? It's the gift that keeps on giving. So that's when you're talking about purpose. That's what I feel like true spirituality is using everything external and internal to find your purpose, so you can get to serving and being as God, here right now, because you have bigger responsibilities once you come back to your wholeness. So that's what I feel like it is. It's a beautiful journey, and that's what Wokefest, that's why I created it, for so many people that think just like me and you about what the spiritual journey actually is. Woke stands for we're one conscious energy, and that's where I feel like we're going to. We're all connected, and that's what spirituality is. If we can see each other as reflections, we can see each other, see our flaws through each other, see our strength through each other. That's spirituality, and the things that we take. Everybody's a mirror. Sometimes, depending on our frequency, we might reflect the things that aren't what we need, that we need to see, but aren't who we need to be in this moment. But it's a clear indicator every day that what we need to do is right in front of us. So yeah, it's Wokefest is a celebration of awareness in all shapes and sizes, and we're not worried about what you don't know. We're worried about exposing you to higher frequencies and vibrations and celebrating you, because we're glad that you're aware. Woke is not a joke. It's serious. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been, you know, hijacked, just like Rizza Islam, period. Yeah, just like Rizza Islam said that on the last podcast that Hotep is. You know what I'm saying? Hotep is peace. Hotep is high mathematics. Hotep is everything, you know. But it's the same thing for woke. And I have a book coming out, and everybody at Wokefest that comes, they're gonna get a preview to be able to read the first chapter before they leave the event. And it explains where woke came from. Woke has been used always by us to be able to be an indicator to let people know, stay aware, stay vigilant. You know what I'm saying? Don't let them trick you. You know what I'm saying? It was our buzzword. People weren't hip to it. It was for us. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't for anybody else, but they are trying to take that word back, because the power of being aware, they want you to think that you're aware. They want you to be asleep. They want you to think that being aware is fucking crazy, and they're, you know, excuse me, you know what I'm saying? Speak, you know, like, it's not a joke. And those people who make it that way and who tell you if they got to do this when they say woke, you might want to, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, why you saying that, you know, why you have to do this about awareness? What's this about your awareness, you know?
It's because woke has become a colloquialism, and it's kind of become like a parody for a true awakened person. And so woke is cool. That's why when people say woke, because what happened is a lot of people, they be like, they woke, but I'll say you're in a awakened costume. So you do the things, but you're not truly awakened, because a lot of people be doing it because it looks cool. It looks cool to say Ashe. It looks cool to have the crystals and whatnot, and I wear this because it matches my drip. Queen, peace, God.
No, it's here all the time, and that's what Wokefest is.
Right, but so I think that the thing is that I always say is that awakening is not cute. It's not cool. It's not cool.
Let me tell you, it's a beautiful experience when you get down to it, because you said what you said is what I've seen that everybody goes through. I had two awakenings, one in 2012, which most of us had, that are here, that heard the call in 2012, and it doesn't matter how many years. Like I said, as long as we did it before 2020, then we had another awakening in 2020. In 2019 and 2020, on the end of 2019, we had our second call. And as long as we're answering the purpose for our call, we're going to be in alignment when it comes to where we are in the age of application. That's spirituality. You're able to apply those things. That's spirituality, because then you're God. You can create the manifest in the physical in real time. So that's true spirituality to me. I have to know if a person's spiritual, I have to know what everything looks like. You know, how you go home, how do your family feels about you, how do you feel about you, how do your kids feel about you? That's your world. You know, what you have created, what you build with your hands. That's spirituality to me. I don't, you know, what is your bear? What did you build?
I think, though, this is the thing that is starting to concern me, is because within the community, it's people that are conscious but not spiritual, but it's like the lines are blurred between the two. And so just because someone's conscious but they're not spiritual, that means that they don't move in a spiritually responsible way or a spiritually accountable way. You understand what I mean?
Yes, I do.
But then they're teaching. But people are confusing the two. You know what I'm saying? And so part of me, that's why I was contemplating this level of consciousness and what that means, because I was telling Rich Mo, I'm like, shoot, I'm from Atlanta, and I'm older. Like, anyone who came up in Atlanta in like the 90s, you know, you have no choice. If you come up in Atlanta, like, for real,
I love the 90s. It was beautiful.
It was, if you grew up, it was creative, and it was groundbreaking. It was us finally speaking, because when you grow up in Atlanta, like, I never realized our consciousness, our natural consciousness, because we grew up in the home of the civil rights movement. You know what I'm saying? Like, our first field trips was going to the Martin Luther King Center. You know what I'm saying? So I grew up doing that. I mean, the souls of slaves are within these grounds. You know what I'm saying? So you have no choice but to understand. So it's a different understanding of ourselves. Like, I took my cousin-in-law. She came from LA, in 2015, and in my mother-in-law. So we all went to the King Center because I'm like, I'm gonna take y'all to the King Center.
Everybody gotta go.
But they were
For real.
They were in tears.
Yeah.
Like to see the wagon that brought Martin Luther King, like things that we've seen our whole life. I'm like, damn, I'm realizing. And so all that to say, when we grow up in Atlanta, we have a different consciousness. Even our music, like if you listen to Goody Mob, Cell Therapy, some of the stuff that he was talking about, like we were talking about, you know, the putting the thing on our skin and scanning and the New World Order, like it was all natural stuff for us to think about.
Right.
And so when I say all of that, I'm saying like, I feel like maybe we should move away from just saying we're the conscious community. Oh, yeah. Because I want us to include everyone. Yeah. And because I think we're all on this spiritual journey.
Yes, we are.
Like what you're saying is true. Like I noticed I had started Ayurveda school in 2018 and everyone had to get up and say what brought them to Ayurveda. So Ayurveda is Indian medicine. Okay. It's like a preventative medicine, but it's all about aligning mind, body, spirit to create homeostasis in the body. Nice. So that you're not going to get sick. It's like one of the oldest forms of medicine. I love that. But everybody was like, yeah, 2012 such and such happened, 2013 such and such happened. Like it was like every person, it was that year that something happened. Yes. So I always say 2012 was like whatever the kickoff. 2016 was when people activated. Either you started something happened that activated you. 2017, you started really walking in it. 2018, you started to really like, let me learn this, let me be this. 2019 started to develop and really being it. Then 2012 hit, and it was that second awakening, like you talk about. Yes. So that's really interesting that there's that correlation.
You meant 2020, but go ahead.
For all of us. Yeah, 2020. Yeah, this is correct.
You said 2012 is the last time.
It's
2020.
It's so funny. Yeah, that way is so funny because the duality of 2012 and 2021, and it's what it is, the great conjunction. When that happened, that was another beacon. And these are just frequencies that the earth gives off, and those people that are aware. So what I would say, where you're conscious, you are aware of the fact that you are vibrating this energy because you heard the call. It's literally a beacon. So 2012 was like what I call beacon energy. And then people heard the call. But a funny thing about, with my soul tribe, because it's people that we reincarnate with over and over again to learn lessons until we win the game of life and ascend to our next level. But our soul tribe, my soul tribe that I've been able to see, around doing the same things, having the same correlations when it comes to, we are aware of this is what's going on. We just have to piece them together, and it takes us to piece them together because we're Merkabahs for each other energy. So when more people like us get together, we go places. We can shift because our vibrations, they allow these things to happen. That's why Wokefest is also important, because high vibrational energies with no lack and no limiting beliefs in one place does magical things, and things like weird things happen that you would be like, this is crazy, what I'm saying? It is normal, it's a sense of normalcy. But the Great Conjunction happened in 2020. It was a spiritual boot camp, I would say. That was the vibes. Yes. And then after 2020, what we're currently in now is spiritual warfare, because we learned how to use our discernment. And again, what you were saying with how do we know, like, there's a split? Yes, as the people that are here to be workers, that here to serve at a high level of the collective and humanity, we understand that these things can be detrimental to the collective. But our job is to use our discernment and do the work with those who are reflections of us, so we can be powerful. And with us doing the work, it will X that out. We won't even have to even think about it or worry about the devisers or the looters, because all that is just people taking and stealing stuff that they really don't know and don't encompass, but that's only going to harm them. At the end, it's going to be more harm to them than is done externally. So things cancel themselves out that way. But it's also, we frame what we focus on. So we focus on like-minded individuals and being around people where this is our reality. Like, I don't focus on the left or the right woke. I don't even know what that is. What I'm saying? I don't know what they're talking about, because that's not my reality. You know what I mean? When it comes to what they're talking about with that, or why people feel a certain type of way about levels of awareness within them, I don't know what that means over there. I only put myself in places where I choose to be. And, you know, for people that want to do the things that we say we're going to do, like people who want to do the things, that's spirituality, and do them. Execution in the age of Aquarius, in the age of information, true spirituality is the application, because we're in the age of application. So if you can't do it, you don't know it. And that'll be easy to know, because we're in the knowing place where nobody has to guess anymore. Everything's out on the table. So if you can't do it, you don't know it. So we don't have to worry about them anymore, you know. Just lifted a piece off of us.
Because I'm gonna be honest, 2012, I don't remember what happened. I wasn't there. And that's why I was gonna ask you, like, for you, what was that like? Because I don't know if that happened to me.
It probably
I know in Black Ink Radio was created in 2020.
Dope.
I had a little out of body experience with that one. So that happened in 2020. 2020, so I know how that felt.
Yes.
You know, that was weird, but
beautiful.
For you, 2012, like, how could you explain that? If you can.
Oh yeah, I can. I'm a social scientist.
Can we take a quick break and play her music, and then I want her to talk about that after the break?
Perfect.
Can we do that?
Yeah, I'm coming back. I love that question.
Yes. Because I want to really expand on that.
Yes.
Hold on, we're gonna play her song, and only because I feel like that's gonna be a whole new process and page, and I want to be able to focus 100%.
Yes, okay.
Because he read my mind. I was just gonna ask, like, what was your journey? Because I'm hearing you speak, and I'm gonna be real. I've never had a real conversation like this with you. So I'm captivated right now. I'm really like, vibe.
Oh, good, thanks. Thank you so much.
Vibe. How did I not know all this? I mean, I heard some of it before, but so I want to bring it back to Rich Mo's question.
Yes, ma'am.
What was 2012 like for you? What was your journey and your development journey?
Well, in 2012, we was definitely in the age of Pisces, which is the age of illusion, the age of perception, the age of veils, and just what you see is not what it is. So, age of Pisces. So, but with everybody's journey and these different awakenings and it's the soul's journey. So you get propelled on your soul's journey and then you go through it. So what happens with everybody that initiates it is the dark night of the soul, what people would call a spiritual awakening, aka the dark night of soul. Just like you said, spirituality isn't pretty. The dark night of the soul is how you know when you're coming into a spiritual awakening, because it looks horrible. Like it might come in the form of a breakup, it might come in the form of home displacement, it might come in the form of a loved one passing, any traumatic experience to reset your subconscious and to reset your pathway so you can learn new things. And that's what it's really setting you up for. It's like a little light drop of your hard drive, so it can be able to you can learn new things in that moment, but you need to release the things, and spirit moves things out your life so you can always receive. You have everything's a give and take. Everything's people call it sacrificial. There's nothing that is free in this universe. It's always give and take. So in that moment, how everybody's spiritual awakening is, and the call that was had in 2012, it was just, you heard something, you felt weird, you didn't know why you had urges to do things or learn about things, and you were like, this is weird, that's the thing, because nobody was doing it. People were doing it. I grew up in the Nation of Islam. Both my parents were in the Nation of Islam. I have two military parents. Both of them were in the Army. And we grew up, black militant. So I was always aware, that was the best place to be for me to know things, about myself and not about anything else outside of myself. I didn't get to experience learning about somebody else's culture, right. Because I was homeschooled, and then after that I went to private school, and then after that, then maybe we got into the matrix for a little bit, and then because I was adult, and everybody else, and then, but I said, no, I'm not, I gotta get out the matrix. I have to go back to what it relates to me more, and what related to me is just the inner work.
So what happens?
Move forward a little bit, so watch the backdrop. Because that backdrop will fall on you.
Oh.
Yeah,
so specifically, what happened with you? Can I ask?
Well, specifically,
what happened with you in 2012? Because it was 2012, 2013 that things happened with people.
Well, yeah, 2020, I had a big dark night of the soul. In 2019, I had a big dark night of the soul. I had a breakup. In 2012, I found about Planet X and Nibiru. And then I was getting these downloads that I couldn't explain. I would get a download and I would go look it up and it'd be something real, and I would go searching, and then this would relate to this, and this didn't, and then all those things related to my celestial lineage and bloodline. I'm a Lyra starseed. I'm daughter of the Queen of Osiris, Orion, excuse me. So like these things, like when it comes to your natural birthright and what your purpose, these help you get closer to your purpose. But these downloads were coming in, and I didn't know what they were. I didn't know who was speaking to me. I didn't know what parts of my spirit, if it was internal, external. I just knew that this information was coming from somewhere. So that was 2012 for me, and a lot of people heard the call and they had to discern it, So it was discerning all the way up until 20, because I started Divine Tribe, which is my faith-based nonprofit, in 2014. So that's what came out of my first awakening, was my sovereignty movement, my faith-based nonprofit, which we are doing now. And then Wokefest came out of that from my second awakening, and Spirit told me to raise our vibration through tangible tools. And at Divine Tribe, our motto is to educate, elevate, and empower. So it's education for sure, but when you elevate, you're able to use the tools to empower yourself, and then you really know, and it's a cycle. Then it can go again. True education is application. It's not having conversations, it's having conversations to tweak the mind, of course, because you need those things, but it's also after the conversations, the action behind it that comes, that's really brings everything full circle.
See, and I think that's what I love What were you gonna say?
Okay, what you about to say?
Because I was gonna say, like, you know, we were talking about, but before you came, I said people always say I don't have enough women on the show,
Right.
and I was like, well, I got a woman coming today.
Turn up.
And the thing that I like about us is because, you know, I noticed that we're so solution driven.
Yes.
And so I love that you're saying, like, okay, we could talk about it, but now how do we apply this? How do we create the action? How do we make this actually something tangible where we've attained our knowledge? How do we make this help us make us better?
Yes.
You know, something about when you said that you grew up in the Nation of Islam, and I don't know why I had this vision of you as a child. It was really interesting. It was really interesting. Did you grow up in Atlanta, or where are you from?
Yes, I grew up. I grew up in Atlanta. I'm an Army brat, so I was actually born on an Army base, Fort Benning. But we started in the Nation of Islam, South Carolina. We had the only black-owned bookstore in South Carolina. We was competing with Amazon when we started. Obviously they won, you know, because they went to the internet. We was in the game, you know what I'm saying? So we had the first black-owned bookstore in South Carolina. We brought speakers. Minister Louis Farrakhan. We brought speakers to our bookstore. We had Khalid Muhammad. That's like my godfather. You know, he was there raising me. I was sitting there by his, you know, lectures. Like, you know, I was raised under these. You know, that was my childhood, and just to see that, you know, this was uncommon, but it was like real things. I was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? So I grew up in a bookstore, basically in South Carolina as a young. In the Nation of Islam, and I loved it. You know?
So that must be what inspired you to create the Divine Tribe, so that you have your own unit, an organization that has been created. You're another nation.
And we're all like tribal people. We need each other. We have to have things to trade and barter with, things to align, and things to. We have to be aligned against our enemies and be aware of our enemies, but we have to also have discernment to know that we're not each other's enemies, and we have to have something to build. We have to have something to be able to be something as well. So it's just my way of knowing we need land, we need food, we need clothes, like the facts initiatives. We need all that, and we're gonna do. And what to me, the action plan is to get that, so we can practice our spiritual and be more spiritual beings. And in the age of where we're at, the age of technology, which is the age of Aquarius, which is the age of application, it's so beautiful for us, because now, you know, instead of putting yourself in the metaverse, you can automate yourself and live your freest life. You don't have to do the work anymore. If you can create systems, but you can, you know what I'm saying? Because we're in the age of Aquarius, where that system is now going to replace the energy that you had to put in the old matrix. That place is falling, but you can't just get stuck in the metaverse. You have to create a version of yourself that's going to operate there while you operate in the real world. And it's the best split. That's what 2020 has been, the split of our fractal realities, our souls. But we are in control, because we're the gods, so we decide how we're going to be split. We don't let people split us, but we are true duality. All times.
Damn.
That's crazy. See, I like what you said about 2012, right? I told you at first I said I don't know what happened. But as you was talking, I'm listening, which I do. I have ears. So, no, but it's crazy, because then I thought about, I kept trying to think of what was happening in 20, because I ain't gonna lie, I live, and I can't tell you exactly what happened in 2008 unless somebody died or unless something detrimental happened. So I'm thinking, you know, I moved here in 2014.
Wow.
So I made that decision. I just know that in 2012, my life was bad. I know that much. When you kept saying it's ugly and it's dark and this, and I was like, damn, 2012 was definitely it was bad for me around that time. I had moved to Pennsylvania, you know, to help a friend out. And the thing is my life got shooken up really in 2011, because I was partners with somebody, and I did something that I would have never done. And honestly, you know, it broke up that partnership and made me move on from something I had been doing for 10 years.
Wow.
So I had a studio with him for 10 years.
Wow.
And since we parted ways, I knew I was wrong, so instead of fighting for, like, nah, this is mine just as much as yours, I just like, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Right.
So now I'm in limbo. You feel me? And that's how 2012 went. So I went and moved with my friend, and then he gets locked up. And then in I forgot whether it was 2012 or 2013. I got locked. It was 2012. I got locked up because I knew that I went home after I got locked up, so I'm not going back there. So then I was on the run for 10 months. Didn't know that because they sent, the mail to Pennsylvania. I had a Pennsylvania license.
Right.
So I got pulled over in New York sometime in 2013. And then that's when I actually went to jail, and they drove me back to Pennsylvania. It was all of this stuff happening. Like you said, like a lot of,
Yeah.
And then I just decided, like, I'm going to come to Atlanta, And I left in 2014 in the middle of the night on Halloween.
Wow.
It was like, it was Halloween going into the first.
Yeah, we celebrate the first.
But hold on. I hadn't left my house on Halloween since like 2001 because I was in a motorcycle accident on Halloween and broke everything on my right side. My finger, my knee, everything got busted open. So I always was scared, giving it a stigma like, oh, it's bad. Like I went outside and got chased by the police and ended up hurt. Like it was bad, and I went to jail for that and everything. So I didn't realize it was Halloween until I was halfway here.
Wow.
And I'm driving here, and guess where I'm stopping? I stopped in Pennsylvania to rest, and then realized that part of the punishment was they suspended my license for 6 months. So I pulled over there, and I'm about to go to sleep, and I said, "What the fuck? Wait, I'm in PA. If I get caught behind this wheel, I'm going to jail. Number one, number two, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm bugging. It's Halloween. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I had to. It was going into Halloween, so I had to take this whole drive down here on a day that I hadn't been outside in years. You feel me? And I just felt like it was all of these things working against me coming here. But coming here was like one of the best things that I ever did. You feel me? So I feel like that's what I'm sitting here thinking like, damn, all of that built up to this.
Yes.
You feel
Every
me?
time.
Yes.
And then, like I told her before, in 2020, because the birthday of Black Ink Radio is 12/12/20.
Oh, that's lit.
I know, right?
That is.
It was December 12th, 2020.
That's beautiful.
Was the date that I actually launched this, but the way I even thought about it was, one night took some drugs.
Okay.
Maybe a little too much.
No drugs.
But I'm laying there, and it's been 6 years I've been here, and I came to do music, but I wasn't doing music. I was managing Black Ink, the shop.
Nice.
So I'm in bed, and then I just started talking. So while talking, I'm asking myself, like, I'm not the one talking. Like my brain is not making my mouth move. So my mind, my mental me, I'm listening.
Yes.
And my mouth is moving. I'm talking out loud. You know what I'm saying? And my girlfriend is in the bed, and she's, oh, don't worry, you'll be all right. You ain't, because I'm like, yo, what's wrong with you? Didn't you come here to do music? Why are you not doing music? And I'm saying this, and I guess she thinks that I'm down on myself, but I'm actually listening. Like, damn, you're right. And then in the middle, it was just like, wasn't you supposed to do a radio station with your friend? What happened to that? And then it was like, wait, Black Ink Radio. And I'm just like, wow.
Beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? In the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And then, I called C. He's like, bro, Black Ink Radio. He was like, shit, do that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was kind of, when you said 2020, the split and all that, I'm like, damn, that was literally, I've told her this before. That was literally, and I tell people this all the time. I was literally listening to myself talk out loud. I had somebody, I wanted to tell her to shut up, but I can't because I'm not the one talking. I'm just listening. And out loud, I'm like, man, you managing a tattoo shop. You don't even know how to do tattoos. Like, what's your problem?
That's really beautiful.
And I'm sitting there listening like, yo. But that's the only time I ever had that happen to me. And that happened early in 2020. You know what I'm saying? Because it took me time to build this up. You know what I mean? Before I could actually do it. In 12/12/20 is when I had the actual launch party for this.
That's beautiful. That's dope.
So yeah, it was crazy.
And that story has so many signs in that story. So many things and it's gonna continue. Like I said, this is only the beginning of the calls and different things, the shifts that are gonna happen. We haven't even got into the age of Aquarius fully. We're just in the shift of moving from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius, which is technically happening in 2024. Then also our calendar is wrong, so we really have to use our natural discernment. And like Scott, my president of Divine Tribe, our circadian rhythm that will keep us, that will let us know and get these downloads like nothing. We don't have to ever guess or anything, because that's how my great grandparents did it. And they're a big, like, my ancestors are a big reason why I started Divine Tribe, as well as my parents and the life, my elders, you know what I'm saying, and how they raised me, because they didn't have to look at a watch to know when the moon cycles. They were, you know, they didn't need a farmer's almanac. They were the farmers. And then they woke up with the sun because they had to go feed the chickens. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Like, they was grounding and getting there, you know, little did they know they was eating as they went because it was there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you know, if you create that life, if you create and you only focus on what you want, you will have it. There's no way around it.
And you so right, because, you know, I promise you, if I know I gotta wake up at 10 o'clock, I'm gonna wake up 5 minutes before the alarm go off, and that's every day.
Right.
I it's bad. I'm telling you. I will wake up and then look at them like, I'm mad because I can't get more sleep. But I will wake up 5 minutes before that clock. That happens to me all the time. And another thing, like I do music as well, and a lot of the times I'll say something and it'll sound so crazy, and I'll be like, but I hope that word that I put in there has the right definition.
Yes.
Because I use a word just because it rhymes really well.
Right.
Then when I look it up, I'm like, oh shit, it really fits. Like, I didn't even know the meaning, but sometimes, you know.
Yes, you have to trust yourself.
Facts. And that's why what I do is like, now, if I get a random thought, I'll go with it, because like I sit here with somebody and I'll be like, well, you know, pick a number. And then if they pick a number, it's like, for me, I go with the first number that popped in my head.
Right.
And a lot of times I'll be right.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
To me, like, when I'm saying that because you said, you know, just go with it.
Yes.
I feel like if people were to do that, it could be a lot of communication mind-wise.
It's gonna be.
You know?
So I'm excited for it.
Real.
Like,
I wrote a whole song. I wrote a whole song with a producer sitting there. It was his beat.
Yes.
We sat there. He sat there with me for hours while I wrote this song. And then when he heard the content, he said, yo, that's what I was thinking about.
That's how it be in the studio.
Exact topic.
Yes.
Like, that's what I was thinking about. Because we sitting there bopping.
Yeah.
He's thinking, I'm thinking. And we in tune. It's not like I'm over there and I'm closed off to him.
Yes.
You know, that
I love that.
Things like that be crazy. And that's how I know that there's a lot more we can do.
Yes.
We just don't know. Well, I just don't know how. I can't speak for nobody else.
We're all going to know how. Like, all we have to do is say we know, and then everything is, it is so. I share, you know, that's it.
Know.
Right.
We know, you know exactly how. Like, you always know how. Like, I literally will call Richmo where I'm like, and I'm supposed to be the counselor and things like that, and I'll be calling him when I'm like needing a counselor.
That's
like, you do know.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying?
Love that.
Yeah. This my rock kind of situation going on. I didn't realize 12/12 was the kind of like the birthday for Black Ink Radio.
That is nice.
12,
I
12,
never
20.
knew that, man.
Yeah.
Like, for real, I tell people this all the time, that what brought me to Black Ink, like, I had went to a few different stations, because the station I was at before, that show had let me go. And it just was a lot going on with the content and with my content, and, you know, wanting me to be more like Fluff. Because, and it's not nothing bad with them, it's just that their audience didn't want to hear all this.
Right.
They weren't your
audience.
Yeah, it just wasn't the audience.
Yeah.
So I kept going to different places, and it just kept not aligning. It was just different people telling me, no, I can't talk about this, I can't do this.
Right.
And I seen a picture of him, and I was like, ooh, I want to go there.
Nice.
Like, something about his energy just brought me here. And I was like, this is the place to be. And the first meeting I had with him, he's like, yeah, talk about whatever. I'm like, I'm talking about the Mr. Farrakhan. Right now, he's like, talk about whatever. He was like, talk about unicorns. I don't care. Like,
I don't care.
This Black Ink. Like, we talk about what we want to talk about.
I love that. I love that.
We own this. So ain't nobody taking us down. Like, it's all good. Right. So that's dope, man. I didn't even know that 12/12 was the birthday.
12/12/20.
Yo, 12/12/20. So I want to get into the Wokefest.
Yes.
Before we go, King Simon was on the live. He said he will be at the Wokefest on the 8th.
Peace, King Simon.
Okay, King Simon. So
Saturday.
give us a layout, okay? Because it's a 3-day event.
Yes, ma'am.
So Friday, what is Friday?
Friday, we're going to party like our ancestors. So Friday is a bonfire. We're going to ground. We're also going to dance by the fire with no shoes for those who are feel impelled and comfortable. the frequencies of hand drums. We're gonna also, people can partake in plant medicine with a mentor, like somebody that can watch them, because we have babysitters for some people that it's their first time.
Yes.
We do small dosages for people just to understand, to be connecting, because the fire, the plant medicine, and the music and the drums, they do something really, they activate you.
Yes.
And just remembering, we're celebrating, so Friday is to celebrate ourselves, and party like our ancestors, really just to have fun before we go into acknowledging even bigger things. So we just want to embody our ancestors and have fun like they did, true fun, things that you can't pay for, things that you just want to experience. Like, you can't pay to experience true happiness and bliss and joy. And that's what we're coming in, all the starseeds, indigos, people that heard the call and they want to, come together and do fun things together with and things that's going to make a difference, because we do collective rituals every Wokefest. We do it. We're having a collective ritual on Ancestor Sunday. We're having a collective ritual on Friday, and we're going to do something on Saturday too. But it's all about using our energy while we're together to make manifest. Okay. Because when we're thinking, just like he said, when we're thinking in sync, we create faster. We create already with our minds, like effortlessly. When we focus on something and we're tenacious, it comes. It might be years down the line, sometimes months, but when you have multiple people focusing on the same thing, it happens pretty much damn near almost instantly.
Instantaneous.
And that's the magic that when we come together, that's the difference between the events that we like to curate and we are curating, is the fact that we want to respect our energy and everybody else's and create, use it for something, not just, I can hang out with my pup at home. If I want to hang out with somebody, she's a good little pup, or, you know what I'm saying? If I want to be around somebody, I can do those things, but I want to do more than that. I want to create with my counterparts in real time. So that's what Friday is, the bonfire. We have fun, live performances. It'll be vegan food there the whole weekend. You can purchase food from food vendors. VIPs will have their meals taken care of all 3 days, drinks included. We also have retreat packages. Those are sold out currently, but we will have the same thing similar to next year, but you can still come celebrate with us over the weekend. But our retreat packages are sold out currently. And Saturday is Wokefest, 4th annual Wokefest.
So who all is going to be speaking at the Wokefest?
So it would be myself. I go by Sabrina. Mama Sauce is my producer name. Hapi Dancing River Dragon is my tribe name.
I love it.
And so I will be speaking. A.A. Rashid will be speaking.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. Yeah.
Stop playing with me.
No.
Stop playing with me.
No.
Sorry, I think I just fangirled real quick.
That's what's up.
It's not that. That's, I mean, like, sorry,
Yes.
my bad, y'all.
Don't worry,
I
don't
mean
worry.
to.
No,
it's just, I fucks with
much
A.A.
love.
Rashid
Give it
so
all the
much.
love.
Like,
Yes.
he is just,
Yes.
I talk about Socrates, and I like Socratic method, but see, he teaches in a circuitous manner is what he calls it, and is next level. That's the Kabbalah God. All right, keep going.
So,
keep going.
Yeah. So
I have to go.
Red and Blue, the twin pillars, are going to be speaking. Crumb TV is going to be speaking. TJ Lofton is going to be speaking on how people can get sovereignty and buy land like Divine Tribe. All of our Divine Tribe 100 initiative is to get 100 acres in the top 5 melanated cities, with Atlanta being our HQ. So he's going to talk about how people like us can do that if they're so entailed to get a homestead or be a part of many of these micronations that are going to be sprouting up as we move forward to the age of Aquarius.
Yeah, very, very important information for that.
Yes. So Saturday, and we have more. Brianna Benjamin Williams, he's a value creator. We're going to have many performances over the Saturday. So there's just a couple. Am I leaving anybody else, Guy? I don't like to leave people. Make sure, I'm always thinking.
They should
Vegan's
have had,
Paradise. Yes, we have special
they
guests.
Have had you there also.
We
King
have
Simon.
Yeah, King Simon.
King Simon, the new motivator.
Yes, look, I want to definitely tap in with King Simon. We have some special things coming up, and we definitely want to tap in. So I'm definitely, but we're gonna chop it up over the weekend. We're gonna have fun all weekend.
And then Sunday, what's happening Sunday? Because you've got
Sunday.
Saturday is the party. Friday is the party,
Friday's
the ancestral party. Saturday is like the information.
Yes.
We gonna pack ourselves with info.
Yes.
Sunday, what are we doing Sunday?
Yes, I do want to add to it. It's about
bad.
celebrating on Saturday your awareness. That's one of the most important parts. And then the information is to add on to what you already are coming into because you're here.
Okay.
That's like if you're there, you already on it. You know what I'm saying? And the information is just what you like. People like different things. Some people might find this or find that, but it's gonna be there for you if you want to tap in. But it's what resonates. And we're gonna have a plethora of people that think different for you to grab on and ascend to your next level of consciousness. So that's for Saturday. But Sunday is Ascension Sundays. So it's metaphysical ancestor veneration. It's a metaphysical gathering and commune. And we're going to do ancestor veneration, which means acknowledging our ancestors as a collective and individually, and honoring them, just giving them a day, to speak to them, to tell them, show them our appreciation for the path that they have paved, to light a candle for them and to do a collective ritual with their blessings to move forward into our lives, going into this new year. So that's what Ascension Sundays. We're going to have sound healing. We're going to have sound bowls, flute players. That's gonna Native American flute players. We're gonna have people that's getting facial massages. We're gonna have intuitive reader doing a reading for the collective to let people know what this year is entailed and what the future is also entailed for us to get prepared for. Because I do it in every October because October is harvest season. So when you harvest, you right back ready to plant. Like that's a farmer. When you get your tomatoes or whatever, if you want to eat again, you better put that seed back in the soil so you can do it again. This is the perfect time to plant, and this is the perfect time to put something out in the universe. And if you put it out with the collective, it's gonna come so much faster with intentional beings that wanna just be high vibrational and see people win and see and be a part of something big, and which is their life and their soul journey. You know what I'm saying? So that's the weekend.
How can people get tickets for the Wokefest?
So, like I said, tickets are almost sold out. There will be on wokefest.net. Our live stream tickets this year will be live stream. I wanted to live stream for since I started it, but this is the perfect year. So it will be live stream. You can get your tickets on wokefest.net. If you're in Atlanta, Georgia, and you want to come, please do. You know what I'm saying? Tap in with these high vibrational beings. You can find us on Eventbrite, or you can also go to wokefest.net. We have a lot of information on the speakers, what they'll be talking about, the days, how the days are going to go, and why we're doing it. So if you tap in or at wokefest.net, you can get a lot of information in there. And if you tap in at Eventbrite, you can buy the days. So if you just want to come to Woke Party and be a part of that, you can come buy tickets on there. If you want to be a part of Wokefest and just want to come to that, you can. If you want to be a part of Central Sundays, just come to that. Eventbrite's the place to do that. But if you want to tap in and have this, transformation with your collective and your soul tribe, because if you come, you're going to be a part of the soul tribe, because that's why we're there, to do some work that our spirit's calling us to do, and we don't even know why, what I'm saying? But if you're there, guess what? Some things is gonna, manifest. So it's gonna be fun though. But for the people that come, they're supposed to be there. So every year, spirit, because I started Wokefest. Speaking of years, in 2019, after I went to my dark night of soul, 2019 was my first Wokefest. Because going into there, I had to be prepared for what 2020 would hold. So I listened to Spirit, and Spirit said, get the tools, educate yourself with the tangible tools that will raise your vibration and frequency, and serve your collective in doing that. And how am I going to do it? Through edutainment. So, I was already artist, and I want to bring it all together, but put some meaning behind it. I don't want to, people like to, I don't want to say like bore. Learning is fun. Learning is stimulating. And I wanted to be able to entertain people while educating them as well, to give them things that they execute upon. So it was a real testament to me listening to Spirit, and then it was game over from there. We ain't turning back. There's no turning back from following Spirit. Bigger,
Quick question, right? So
yes, sir.
Why do people refer to it as spirit and not my spirit?
Spirit, because your spirit, and when you do anything, when you are an energy, you don't possess anything. Everything is yours. So when you say my spirit, it is your spirit technically, but we're all each other's spirit. You know, we're one. We're part of. That's why woke is. We're one conscious energy. There's nothing that's separate. All the bad is you, the good is you, and the in between, everything is you. And we have to learn how we relate to everything. Therefore, when we understand it, we conquer it. So when we understand the bad and see ourselves in it, we conquer it. It disappears. You know, it's still there, but it serves us now because we understand it.
Yeah. Kind of in the build on that, it's also that kind of that concept that, you know, I am God, God is me, I am one. And spirit, like, instead of saying like my spirit told me, like spirit told me, like, because it's a universal type of conscious kind of energy that's telling me things, not just my spirit. You know what I'm saying? It's that, like, I am God, God is me.
So basically, whatever told her, the same thing that told you is what you're saying.
Yes, and the same thing that told you in 2012, and all the times that it's ever told you.
Right.
And we want to think on another level too. Sometimes it is yourself telling you something. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So spirit encompasses.
That's what I thought in 2020. I really thought that. I felt like it was the early 20 teens. I felt like it was the push that gave me the drive to move to Atlanta in 2013-ish. You know what I mean? I felt like it was that mindset that was talking to me, because the way it was even talking sounded like how I would have talked back then, or more so like, you know, like the attitude I had, like, you know, because when I go to New York, I get whenever when I stay out here for a while, I become a little complacent. I'm be honest. When I go to New York and I'm around that energy, I come back here and I'm back on that. Let's go. You know, I'm ready.
Right.
You feel me? Like when I come out here, it's like I start to become nicer to people. Right. I'm starting to be, you know.
Yeah, they call Atlanta slow river. Yeah,
right.
Slow.
Yeah, and then when I go back to New York, I be like, yo, I can't wait to go back home. You know what I'm saying? When I go back now, I'm about to be a beast again.
Popping, yeah.
So I felt like it was like that talking. Like, what are you doing? Like, you bugging. Like, you out here, you know, like it was mentioning shit. I was saying like, damn, I am doing that.
Yeah.
Like, why am I doing that?
That part is beautiful, because when you're able to acknowledge the selves in yourself, that's when you're on a high level of your spiritual journey. That's when you're advancing so extremely fast, when you're able to make that separation in real time and acknowledge it, because we have different spirits: our higher self, our lower self, our inner child, our ego, our heart space, our crown, our third eye. All these energies associate with, maybe, you know what I'm saying, deities and other things that's within us, but these are spirits in us. They have a name, you know, and we can't let our ego or anything control us, because as a God, this is our vessel. We're the captain of our ship, and we can't let, you know, anybody put us under our own ship or wrap us up and put us off. You know, this is our ship, so we control, and we talk using our highest self to speak to all those energies, to assimilate, to get what we want from them, because they all have a duty in service to us. Like our ego is supposed to protect the inner child, our inner child. So we need our ego, but it needs to be in check, and our inner child doesn't need to be broken to where our ego overcompensates to protect the inner child, because it's so fragile, you know. So everything has a purpose, and we just have to get to understand ourselves, because as within, without, as above, so below. So everything, it matters to within. Like whatever we're going through internally is going to reflect externally, you know.
You ever read the book Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill?
Yes, love that book. Love Napoleon Hill.
Now everybody the person that told me to read it told me to skip the first 3 chapters.
Oh yeah.
Because he said, just get to the conversation.
Yes. And
I didn't listen. I read the first 3 chapters. And in the first 3, it's Napoleon Hill just saying how he got to the conversation. And he spoke about this.
Yes.
He spoke about, you know, about him telling him, like he was listening to himself actually telling him, go to Pennsylvania, borrow this much money. His brother said, no, I'll give you 100. He said, nope. He called it his new mind, or I forgot what he called it. He said, no, it told me to get 50, so all I want is 50.
Yes.
He got there. The $50 could have got him 2 months worth of a hotel space. It said, nope, get a suite. It's only going to last 2 days, though.
Right.
And then in them 2 days, he got $25,000, you know, which back in that time was like
a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's
so
lit. Listening to your discernment and the right voice.
He talked about that, and that's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we have those voices. And some of them, we have to use the ones that serve us, because spirits everywhere. Good and bad exists at all times. But we have to only we have to be aware of everything, but we have to use what serves us, because we need to serve as well. So if we can't use what serves us, we can't be in service of anybody, others, or to ourselves.
Correct. Yeah, it's discernment is really important too, because one thing I had learned throughout the journey, because people, they feel weary of people, because I'm an oracle, so which means I'm a psychic medium. So I get a lot of conversation from things from other dimensions and whatnot, and a lot of people are weary of doing that, and I'm like, but it's your discernment. Like, and when I talk to people, I tell them, like, if ever something is telling you to do something that's not good for you, don't listen. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, you have to have that level of discernment. But I did want to go back to something you said about the ego. I really have gotten into this practice of acknowledging my ego more. Yes. Because I realize, I'm like, we always want to kill the ego, but the ego is sometimes that driving force.
It's protective. We need it.
Yeah, like I wouldn't have no hunger or passion to do certain things if my ego wasn't there, like a little bit. Yes, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so important to listen to all sides of yourself, man. I love talking to this. I can keep on going. I'm like, let's keep going. Right. I love it. I gotta be on a time frame. Like,
I appreciate you.
Dang, and I be seeing her like all sorts of different places. Like, I went to the waterfalls for the preserve, and she was there. Like, it'd be like all sorts of random places. I just be catching her, and I've like never had this whole long sit down conversation. That's man.
Well, I'm glad we could.
Yes,
I really appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure, man. Let me. I'm a talk about one more thing before we go. I have an event that I'm a part of on Sunday, so
yes,
you can do either one.
Because mine should be ending right when yours starts, I think.
Okay. Because what time is
Central Sundays from 11 to 2.
Okay, perfect. So then after you leave,
exactly, y'all come.
You can go ahead
and walk,
and come to Stone Mountain.
Exactly.
It is King Simon and Friends present Ancient African History, the Origin of Masonry and Masonic Orders. That is going to be featuring Baba Ashwa Kwesi.
Beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? We got guest present.
That's lit. He's a legend.
Yeah. I was like, okay. I will be opening with a libation ceremony for the ancestors.
Beautiful.
And then, of course, we're going to have a guest presenter, Brother Red Pillar, coming into the building. Yes, so that is going to be Sunday from 2 to 7. The address is 5380 Studios, 5380 East Mountain Street in Stone Mountain. Nice. It's only 25 minutes from Atlanta, y'all. Free parking. To tap in, go to get tickets. You can go to King Simon Presents, and then I'm sure there's going to be a link in his bio. King Simon, if you're on right now, because you tap in the comments where you can get tickets from. If you don't get them online, just pop up. We're going to be there 2 to 7. You know what I'm saying? So I will catch y'all on Sunday. This will be a beautiful event. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yes,
I'm really excited.
I'm excited.
Like, this a whole weekend, y'all.
Yes,
so tap in.
Fun.
And you don't have to be in the conscious community to come and enjoy the festivities. Okay, y'all? We are all one community in Atlanta. I'm going to keep saying that. I'm going to create some sort of tagline, something like that. Yeah. I'm gonna keep saying this every single episode or something until it resonates that we are all one community, y'all.
We're all one conscious energy.
One conscious energy.
That's
so if you hear this, if you see this, come tap in to the Wokefest or come tap in on Sunday and see Baba Ashwa Kwesi, Red Pillar. Yes. Go to King Simon Presents and his link in his bio. He has a link tree in his bio. So you can tap in for that to get the tickets. All right, y'all. So that will be my show for today. Next week, we will be having Rich Soul coming on. That's going to be a dope little situation going on. Nice. So I will see you guys next week, 10:10, same bat time, same bat channel. That's Oracle Connect for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Where can they follow you before you go?
Follow me at Sabrina Rashe, SabrinaRasha, as well as my faith-based nonprofit, Divine Tribe. We Are Divine Tribe, at We Are Divine Tribe on Instagram. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ashe.
You are now tuned in to Black